Hi, I'm Ram from Vike. What is Vike? We believe Vike to be a next generation front-end framework. You can think of it like Next.js or Next, but flexible with ejectable extensions. With flexible, we really mean flexible. You can use any UI framework. For example, we have a sponsor that is using React and Solid in the same app, which is something I don't think you can do with another framework. We also have a sponsor that is using Vue 2 and Vue 3 in the same app for progressively migrating from Vue 2 to Vue 3. Any rendering strategy, SPA, SSR, SSG. We have a sponsor that is using SPA because it does need server-side rendering. Any data fetching, RPC, REST GraphQL. We have a sponsor that is integrating GraphQL Relay in a way that I don't think would be possible with another framework. Any server, we have a sponsor that is using a Ruby and Rails backend together with Vike in a way that, again, I don't think would be possible with another framework. Any deployment strategy, and in general, any tool. And not only can you use any tool you want, but you can also integrate them however you want. In general, we handle blockers with high priority. For example, if you create a feature request and you explain why it's blocking you, then we will treat it as high priority. We also quickly fix bugs because bugs are often blockers. You can also use extensions for a quick start. For example, if you use Vike React, then you get a quick start similar to Next.js or Remix. If you use Vike Vue, you get a quick start similar to Next. You can also eject these extensions. So for example, if you eject Vike React, then what happens is that Vike React's code moves from the node modules directory into your Git repository. It means that you get full control over the React integration, and you can then change it to be a completely bespoke React integration. Let me show you quickly how Vike React integrates with Vike Core. Basically, it's composed of two hooks, onRender HTML and onRender client. The onRender HTML hook, as the name suggests, generates the HTML here. The onRender client hook determines what happens on the client side. So for example, for server-side rendering, it hydrates the page, and then on subsequent page client-side navigation, it renders the page. So it's quite simple. And in general, these extensions are simple and very small. So you can think of Vike as being a car, and on top of it, extensions. It's a sturdy architecture. It's for you, and it's also for us. It's also for Vike, so that Vike can quickly adapt to the fast evolving JavaScript ecosystem. For example, there have been a lot of changes with data fetching approaches in the last couple of years, and there are probably going to be a lot of changes in the next couple of years. And Vike will be able to quickly adapt to these changes, to these new approaches. As I said before, these extensions are relatively simple and relatively small. This enables us to create a lot of extensions and to maintain them for a long time. This means we can support legacy technology for a very long time. For example, if you don't want to use server components yet, you can go for the classic React stack, and we will be able to support you for a very long time. These extensions, they don't exist yet, but it's very much our goal to create many extensions so that you have the choice. Yeah. The current release is already stable. You can already use it in production. Many users use it in production for mission critical applications. Our sponsors, for example, use it for mission critical applications in production. But there were a couple of essentials missing, and that's why we didn't release a V1 yet. But we're getting very close. and there's only a couple of things missing, lots of polishing, and then we will release a V1. And once we release a V1, we'll be very confident that Vike is an excellent front-end tool to create modern applications. Beyond the V1, we are focusing on making Vike extensions as powerful as possible. The JavaScript ecosystem has a lot of high-quality tools, but there's one thing missing. It's a Ruby on Rails or Laravel for JavaScript. And we believe powerful Vike extensions is the way to get there. But I don't think we can build that future. It's quite an ambitious future. So I think we need a lot of manpower. And I don't think sponsoring alone will allow us to get there. I'm very grateful to our sponsors. They've been a tremendous help. So I really feel grateful to our sponsors. If a sponsor is watching, then thank you. But the issue with sponsoring is that it's not reliable. You can imagine there's a major financial crisis, then the first thing that companies will cut is sponsoring. I don't think a sustainable business can be built on top of sponsoring alone. We need a proper business model. We've been thinking a lot about it, and we had a lot of internal discussions. And I think the holy grail here, what we all want, is we want code to stay 100% open source, so no compromise on what makes open source special. But larger companies have to pay. Now the question is, how do we get there? And I believe we found a solution that will work. So the code is 100% open source, 100% MIT license. Everything stays 100% free for engineers. Only companies pay. Companies who cannot afford it can apply for a form to get a free license key. The form is really simple. It's a small form, just 2 or 3 sentences explaining why it cannot afford a license key. We review it. If it makes sense, then we give out a free license key. Also, one thing we want to try, it's experimental. Let's see how it goes. We want to make it that companies pay as much or as less as they want. So it means the companies could be sponsoring, could be paying only $1 a month. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting experiment. Let's see how it goes. But if it doesn't work out, then we will actually enforce a pricing. But again, if a company cannot afford it, then it can apply for this form and get a free license key. 3 months free trial, so you can just try Vike and see if you like it. And the way it works is really simple. In production, it shows a pesky toaster, get your free trial license key at blah, blah, blah. And to remove that pesky toaster, you have to get your license key. So Vike stays 100% open source and 1% accessible. Everyone can use Vike. It's a win for everyone. Yeah, we're really excited to try this out. I really believe it's what we all want. 100% open source, 100% accessible. Companies pay a small amount, and in exchange they get a tool that is much more robust, much more sustainable, with a lot more features. Yeah. That's it. Thanks for watching. If I piqued your interest, then go to vike.dev, poke around, see if you like it. Reach out if you have any questions. We're responsive. Thanks for watching. See you around. Bye.